afternoon. My name is Victoria. I am the front of house coordinator for the Malta National Aquarium, who we are playing host for this year's EU for Ocean. Save the Mediterranean Blue. I am so sorry. I'm a little bit nervous. So I am your host for the moment, and I'm going to hand you over to Pierre shortly. We do hope you enjoy this opening event. We are hosting it in the lovely Malta, which is a beautiful scenery. We do have the Malta National Aquarium where we are at the moment. Please enjoy it. We have some lovely guests coming up this evening, so have fun and enjoy it. Thank you very much. Going to hand you over to Pierre now, who is the coordinator for the E4U Ocean. We do have some planes at the moment, which are happening outside because we do have the air show this weekend. So if there is any loud noise, I do apologize. We will pause just for 1 second and then continue on. So over to you, Pierre. Thank you very much and enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Thanks to you and to your colleagues to have us in Malta and online. My name is Pierre Strosser. Effectively, we support DG Mare for the EU for Ocean Coalition. Let's now start our collective journey. Next slide. Before we start, a few housekeeping matters. Look at the Zoom itself. You might want to reorganize and choose the speaker's view in the right-hand corner of the Zoom screen for a better meeting experience. Keep your camera on for panelists during the sessions, but your microphone off. And then if you have specific contributions effectively, because we are exchanging views, ask you questions, do not forget to put your microphone on. Next slide. Let's think about why we are here today. And in the next slide, it didn't start exactly today that we started to talk about ocean literacy and ocean literacy in the bed. Ocean literacy is a key buzzword. We had it for around 5-10 years in the EU. It was at the beginning discussed by a few, mainly in the field of education, and progressively it became mainstream, where ocean literacy was considered as an issue for everyone, whoever you are in society. And the EU for Ocean Coalition itself didn't start today. In fact, it was when Karmenu Vella was commissioner that the decision to launch the EU for Ocean Coalition was taken. Next slide. Today, things have changed. The EU for Ocean Coalition is well established. If you think about the term itself, you can hear it in many fora, from local to the international scale. For example, in the context of a UN decade for ocean science, including at the Med level. And then the EU for Ocean Coalition started to do activities with different working groups and supporting initiatives, including with partners in the Mediterranean Sea. Next slide. Not going into detail, the coalition is a platform of around 120 organizations. Next slide. It's also a community of young professionals and youth of around 170 members today. Next slide. And it's an attention given to ocean in education with the EU network of blue schools, where today we have around 40 blue schools and many more to come. Finally, the coalition is also an advocacy campaign, Make EU Blue, and we will come back during this launching event at several occasions to understand what are the pledges that some of our speakers, high-level panelists, are making to support and to make EU Blue. Next slide. Let's now start to really formally open the meeting and to set the scene with, in the next slide, the pleasure to welcome Christos Economoukou, that is, in fact, the person in DG Mare that explains why we are here today. That's from his team that the EU for Ocean Coalition Initiatives was started. And then after Christos, we will have 3 high-level speakers. I will come back to them. Christos, floor is yours for the official opening of the Let's Make the Med Blue event.
Okay. Good afternoon, Pierre. Good afternoon to all the participants to this important event. Particular tributes, of course, to the minister and to my former Commissioner Karmenu Vella. I know that you will be listening and you are present, and I'm very pleased to say a few words in this introductory part, because as many of you know, and particularly Karmenu, that we worked for many years for making a sustainable use of our oceans and seas, and also promote at the same time the blue economy in a sustainable way. And this May we had again a very important milestone with the adoption of a new approach for the sustainable blue economy, a new communication which came out from the Commission in May, pointing out to many aspects that really promote these 2 objectives. And of course, ocean literacy and the importance of reaching out to the citizens and the youth is clearly highlighted in this framework policy, this new approach. I will come to that, but the basis of reaching out, I think, and making people understand what is this sustainable use of the ocean, what is blue economy, lays with awareness of the youth, awareness of the citizens in these different fora, and the way we promote this discussion is certainly the way we can also have tangible results. We today have a dedicated event for the Mediterranean. It takes place in Malta, and for very good reasons. And I would like to say that ocean literacy is not a matter only of one region or one country. It has to reach out to a broader public, because we are really facing common challenges in a sea basin level, and particularly in the Mediterranean. We work already, we cooperate with our partners for the same reasons, for many topics that I mentioned under the sustainable blue economy and the protection of the marine environment. I would like to mention very quickly the work we do with the Union for the Mediterranean. We had a ministerial declaration back in February, the second one on sustainable blue economy, referring also to ocean literacy and the importance of promoting this at sea basin level. We work also in the Western Mediterranean with the West Med initiative. Karmenu knows very well, he was there with us when we initiated this initiative. And also in the Adriatic and Ionian Sea, we have a dedicated a pillar on blue economy. It's a macro-regional strategy, but also promotes the cooperation in the Mediterranean, and also really shows the importance of talking to each other and promoting common initiatives like this one we have today. Now, let me say what we expect. What are the 2 things we would like to have as outcome of this event and the other events that will follow? First of all, more mobilization. I mean, this is the opportunity to reach out to the broader public. First of all, to really make them aware of the challenges. And the Mediterranean faces many of them. And I will not go into the detail, but we also need to make people understand about the solutions. What is their contribution to that? So these are really what we need to share, how we need to mobilize more to have an impact. And this is the purpose of the campaign we pursue since this May, promoting the Make EU Blue. This is clearly something very visible, that's something which went out to the citizens with short messages, with promotion material to really raise the awareness on marine degradation, but also bring youth into careers in the blue economy. There are many opportunities. We also need to highlight not only what are the problems, not only what we can do to solve the problems, but also that the opportunities that the new business around sustainable blue economy brings for employment. So we collect pledges, and of course, Pierre, you invited everybody to pledge, and I have done my part as well. But clearly from the side of the policy, our pledge is to do more, to bring people together and to raise much more awareness on these topics that we talked today. So we also launched this kind of competition with Make Med Ports Blue Photo Contest. I think you will be having the results of this competition later at the closing of the event. And it is a way also to reach out, to expand our communities. Now, the first thing, more mobilization. Then the second thing I would like to see, and the Commission definitely promotes it very actively, is more coordination of activities to create impact. I started with a cooperation at sea basin level, saying we do have framework for that, but also we really need to have coordination of activities around the ocean literacy, and also how disseminate the knowledge about sea basin status and about the actions we're taking to educate the young generation, to bring them closer to the mentality on environmental sustainability, to go to the schools. All these are activities that proliferating both in the Mediterranean but elsewhere. So let's also learn from each other, try to build coherence of the different fora that exist there. And we certainly put our head into that with these events and with the EU for Ocean Coalition event we have put together. We have also the Youth for Ocean Forum, which obviously it's an umbrella bringing together the different actions. And also we have promoted the network of European Blue Schools. That really goes down to the level of primary school to promote really the ideas that we would like to flourish among the young generation. So these are the things that we are doing already, and we hope that this event will bring even more ideas, more stakeholders, more pledges. And I would like to stop here and give the floor to the other honorable speakers, but I would really looking forward to the outcome of this event, and a lot of success to all of those participating and commit particularly into the ocean literacy effort we're doing. Thank you. The floor back to you.
Many thanks, Christos. I think we can directly turn to the first guest. You referred to it in your speech. Very happy to welcome Karmenu Vella, a former member of the Commission in charge of many aspects, but Maritime Affairs and Fisheries in particular. So welcome here. When you hear Christos, when you hear Make EU Blue, how do you see a bit the way the ocean in general and maybe ocean literacy also has evolved in the last few years? How do you see some of the challenges and a few words that would guide us in the coming few days? We are going to work together at the Med level. Floor is yours, Karmenu. Many thanks to be with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pierre. And I have to say we're missing you in Malta. And I have to say hello to Christos as well. Minister Farrugia, Ellen, and colleagues from the European Commission, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and welcome to this event that is kickstarting a series of ocean literacy activities around the Mediterranean. I feel very honored to be part of today's event. First of all, because the European Commission's DG Mare and the EU for Oceans Coalition chose to embark on this ocean literacy journey from Malta. And secondly, because this project started during my time as EU Commissioner. Before 2014, the ocean and its sustainability seldom made it to the center stage of political discussions, and public and government debates were almost exclusively on fisheries. As Commissioner responsible for the environment, fisheries, and maritime affairs, I made it my priority to give the ocean the place it deserves in all levels of political discussions. I still remember my disappointment in 2015 when the ocean was hardly present at the Paris climate change discussions were it not for a side event organized by DG Mare on the ocean and climate. Eventually, a reference to the ocean was added in the final Paris document, and later on, the IPCC even came up with its special report on the ocean and cryosphere in a changing climate. In the same year, 2015, I also visited the Expo in Milan, which had the theme Feeding the Planet. And again, the ocean was totally absent. Imagine my frustration. As a result, with my colleague, former Commissioner Carlos Moedas, we commissioned and published the scientific report on food from the ocean. These are just two examples confirming that the ocean was being neglected even in the highest global political fora. So together with the DG Mare team, we committed to bring our ocean to light. We started to promote its benefits, to warn about the threats harming the ocean, and we also started to call for urgent action to save the planet's biggest and most essential asset. And I will go through some examples of our efforts in this respect. We continued making our case for the ocean in all national, regional, and international fora with member states within the Commission, in the G7 and G20, and at UN level, especially during the SDG negotiations. A major milestone for the ocean was the adoption of the EU International Ocean Governance Strategy with some 50 actions under 3 main policy pillars. The first pillar, strengthening the present legal framework, which was and is still governing the ocean. Second, reducing pressure on the ocean and creating the conditions for a sustainable blue economy. And third, strengthening international ocean research and data. We also engaged bilaterally with other key ocean players. In 2018, we signed the first ocean partnership agreement with China and a second one with Canada in 2019. We adopted the circular economy and the plastic strategy in record time to stop plastic waste, especially single-use plastic, entering our ocean. The European Union has always participated in the UN and in other ocean conferences. During the Our Ocean Conference, which the EU hosted in Malta in 2017, we managed to secure over 7 billion euros in pledges and close to 450 commitments from governments, from NGOs, youth foundations, research institutes, and global business players. During this high-level conference, the EU alone made 36 commitments and, together with its member states and the European Investment Bank, pledged 2.8 billion euros. During the same conference, We also co-hosted the second summit of Youth Ocean Leaders, which was a unique opportunity that served to empower and enable the next generation to present their own ocean solutions. These are only a very few examples of how the European Union helped the ocean gain momentum at the highest political levels in recent years. But to ensure the health and sustainability of our seas, we need more than just high-level political discussions. We need ocean literate stakeholders on board, politicians, business leaders, the media, marine and maritime stakeholders, citizens, and especially the younger generation. Ocean illiterate stakeholders can only be part of the problem and not part of the solution. So we decided to create a European platform to bring together networks, organizations, and people that can contribute to ocean literacy and to the sustainable management of the ocean. As part of the continuity process between the Juncker and the von der Leyen commissions, my successor and good friend, Commissioner Sinkevičius, launched in 2020 the European Ocean Coalition, what we call today the EU for Ocean, in order to unite the voices of Europeans and to make the ocean a concern of everyone. Without ocean literacy, citizens cannot be aware of the endless environmental, social, and economic benefits that we get from our ocean. Citizens cannot be aware that we are pushing our ocean beyond its limits and consequently threatening our own existence. Ocean literacy is key to better appreciation of our dependence on the ocean, to a deeper understanding of the gravity of our threats, and subsequently a stronger feeling of the need and urgency to protect it. I often stress that youth participation is essential. Ocean literacy and youth participation are the right combination. They are vital, not only because today's youth are tomorrow's policymakers, but more so because our youth can put pressure on today's policymakers. The ocean cannot wait for tomorrow. We need today's youth and today's policymakers to work together to intensify and to promote even more ocean literacy. Before I conclude, I would like to remind everyone that tomorrow we will be celebrating the Mediterranean Coast Day, a coast that is more than 45,000 kilometers long and home to almost 500 million people, bordering across 3 continents and enclosing a sea which is just 1% of the planet's ocean, but contains 10% of the planet's species, a sea which is so rich and yet so fragile. These events are excellent opportunity to strengthen ocean literacy also in our region, in the Mediterranean region. Let us continue working together to intensify ocean literacy in all regions and at all levels. But most importantly, let's work together to turn ocean literacy and marine knowledge into action. As Christos said, ocean literacy is not only about problems and benefits, but also about solutions. Dear colleagues, this year, through the Make Europe Blue campaign, the EU for Ocean Coalition is calling on us, citizens, businesses, organizations, authorities, educators, to make a pledge to help the ocean. I have also submitted my pledge to continue calling for the sustainable management of our ocean and to continue promoting ocean literacy across the board. I urge each and every one of you not only to submit your pledge, but importantly, to uphold your promise. Thank you all, and I wish you all a successful event. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Karmenu Vella. I think by being with us today, maybe your pledge has started to be fulfilled and transformed into action. So many thanks for being here and stressing all of us. And we hope we will succeed in these 4 days and afterwards in translating ideas to action. You mentioned also, I would have liked to be in Malta. Clearly, I would have preferred to be on your side at the aquarium for many reasons. One of the reasons being to have a chance to meet Arun Farrugia, which is our next speaker, Malta's Minister for the Environment, Climate Change and Planning, that has accepted to join us and to share some views about Malta. Malta, you see, all of you, an island. The sea is all around, and you could expect that ocean and marine issues are very special for the country and the people. Mr. Farrugia, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. It's an honor to have former Commissioner Vella with us today for this conference, which focuses on making our Mediterranean blue and ocean literacy, which is a topic high on the agenda, not just here in Malta and the European Union, but also elsewhere. I just came back from the United Arab Emirates after signing an MOU with my counterpart there, and ocean literacy is and was a topic which we discussed at length. And not just that, but also the use of single-use plastics, blue economy, and marine and maritime matters. A topic which is also included in the MOU signed with the government of the UAE. It will also feature in our discussions next week in Athens, where we'll be meeting during a conference organized by The Economist, and that's where we're going to discuss, amongst others, ocean literacy and the ocean itself as well. But here we are today. I'm pleased to be here with you for this event amongst you all, especially after a difficult period in which we could barely meet at all. It goes without saying, our seas have a significant role in our existence for our biodiversity, our food supply, and our economy. Our seas have an essential role in climate change mitigation and should be at the forefront of climate action. In many ways, I would say, they are at the heart of the climate emergency and the first victim in line. Sea levels rise, temperature increases, acidification, migration of fish stocks, dying of coral reefs, destruction of fragile ecosystems, amongst others. I will not repeat the drastic facts and figures. We all know them. But locally, as a small island in the middle of the Mediterranean, the marine environment goes as far as to define us as a nation. Those are the red arrows being here with us for the weekend. And it's a positive thing to promote here at the aquarium too. That's a tourism aspect of our country. Well, I was saying that approximately 15%. I've competed with many speakers before, but never with the red arrows. So I'm counting 7. I think there are seven planes, yeah? That was the 4th. Well, I will continue. Approximately 15% of Malta's economy is still dependent on the marine environment, and that's a lot. Compared to the blue economic contribution to the European Union, this estimate is, as I've said, relatively high, however justified, considering the high dependency of a small island state on its primary natural resource. This highlights the importance of using marine resources sustainably and to protect our marine environment, not only to safeguard livelihoods, the food and the array of services provided by such matters, but also to protect our precious and incredible biodiversity. So one of the most effective tools for achieving such protection is the designation of marine protected areas. Our MPAs cover more than 35% of Malta's fisheries zone, a coverage which puts Malta on the forefront for contributing to the targets of the EU Biodiversity Strategy 2050 for 30% of the sea to be protected in the European Union. The MPAs cover the protection of a number of seabed habitats, such as the well-known Neptune grass and Posidonia, but also species such as dolphins, turtles, and seabirds. Despite the importance, however, of the marine environment, the quality of its waters and the marine ecosystem are under constant threat. The work being done by ERA and my ministry, especially on MPAs, is therefore crucial. Conservation objectives and measures for MPAs in our waters, as launched by public consultation and when a public meeting was held a few weeks ago. I urge, in fact, all those who care about the marine environment to participate in such initiatives, as I believe that we can achieve so much more together. Each and every one of us has a role in ensuring the success of such management processes. As such, we would like also to say otherwise. The reality is that we do not have all the answers and tools as government alone. But together as a EU community and as its individuals with the marine environment at heart, we have the means and the ambition. Together we have the expertise too. We have the support. We need to use all the above to work close together in order to protect our seas and our environment. We owe it to our children, we owe it to our country and our earth. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Minister, for the guiding words. Thinking about what Christos said at the beginning, yeah, ocean literacy or bringing the ocean to everybody is a challenge. Clearly, we realize that we should have taken the ocean to the air show these times to make sure that they would not disturb our launching event. So sorry for the conditions, but I hope that participants could still hear your messages. Let's turn back to the third person key speaker, Tatiana Emma. Let's say Tatiana from UNEP-MAP. There was in the speech of Karmenu Vella a reference to Met Coast Day. That's something that is, I think, close to you, to your organization. Maybe you could start from there to elaborate a bit the importance of blue resilient Mediterranean. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Minister Farrugia, Mr. Vella, Alan, Pierre, dear colleague Christos, esteemed guests and participants. I'm very pleased on behalf of UNEP-MAP to participate in this ceremony. As you know, we have joined the EU for Ocean Coalition last year. I was very happy to do that with a view to signal our support to ocean literacy as a pillar of informed action by citizens, decision makers, and other stakeholders. Let's make the Mediterranean blue is a vibrant slogan we can all get behind. It's fully in line with our call to action for healthier and marine and coastal ecosystems that underpin a sustainable and resilient future for all in the Mediterranean region. Tomorrow, we'll mark, it is 25th of September, we'll mark our Mediterranean Coast Day. It is an annual observance introduced many years ago, but even strengthened more after the adoption and entry into force of the Integrated Coastal Zone Management Protocol of the Barcelona Convention. Greece, this time, for this year, is the host of the 2021 edition. Many organizations and individuals around the region will be marking this day with events and activities aiming to raise awareness of the plight of the coast. My apologies. Our beautiful Mediterranean coast is reeling under relentless urbanization and the impacts of the triple crisis of pollution, climate change, and biodiversity decline. On Monday, 27 September, PAP Raqqa Regional Activity Center of the UNEP-MAP will organize a morning reflection focusing on the urbanization of the coast and the need to tap the potential of the blue economy in a sustainable fashion. If you'd like to follow the discussion information on this event, it is available in the UNEP-MAP website and on the Coast Day net. The slogan of the Mediterranean Coast Day is, "The Mediterranean needs you." If you put a seashell to your ear, you will hear its calling. We at UNEP-MAP have learned for many years to listen to the Mediterranean, and we are very pleased that many other organizations and stakeholders are doing the same. We have devised an integrated monitoring and assessment program in order to know more about the sea, and this would create very strong premises for everybody to be aware of what's going on and to raise issues and to participate in problem solving, which is something that we are really very much keen in working with our partners. Monitoring assessment activities are our ears on the ground at the sea, and we are very pleased to inform you and to see there are many stakeholders that would like very much and contribute to the process of knowing more about sea. We talk about the pledges, and I would like to say on behalf of MAP about our pledges too. My own pledges, leading the UNEP-MAP Barcelona Convention Secretariat, that we are working together with our contracting parties to bring on the table an important agenda, more ambitious agenda to protect marine and coastal environment, and of course to provide more healthy conditions for the stakeholders to participate and to contribute to the process. This is a commitment that we have made, and we aim to continue in this direction together with our contracting parties, including the European Union, which is a very big support in terms of work in the Mediterranean. Colleagues, we owe to our beloved Mediterranean a swifter, more resolute action and earnest cooperation across sectors and mandates. Multilateralism or regional collaboration under UNEP-MAP Barcelona Convention embodies has never been more important for the future and the region because it involves around the entire Mediterranean region, countries, and European Union. And the implementation of the work that we are undertaking under Barcelona Convention protocols, breaking the silos through greater integration at all levels and effective ocean literacy with a strong participation of all actors and stakeholders, outreach and advocacy are critical for the protection of the marine and coastal environment, for achieving SDGs, considering also the post-COVID area. Let's hit the Mediterranean, call on Mediterranean Coast Day and beyond, and let's make all of us the Mediterranean blue. I thank you very much for this great initiative, and we look forward to strengthen our collaboration. Thank you.
Many thanks, Tatiana. To all participants, please close your eyes and hear the sea. And now the sea will tell you exactly what we plan to do during the Let's Make the Mediterranean Blue. Next slide. What do we aim to achieve in these 3-4 days of activities? The first element related to our objectives, going back to what Christos said, yes, we want to move to actions, we want to translate ideas. What we would like first is also to celebrate together ocean literacy in the Mediterranean basin, sharing experiences, sharing practices from people and communities on all coasts, potentially identifying future initiatives that we could support, we could strengthen, and maybe key to the EU for Ocean Coalition, experiencing and living the importance and added value of the collective efforts, because the Let's Make the Mediterranean Blue event has been co-built with many, many organizations from the EU for Ocean Coalition and beyond. And finally, if I go back to what Tatiana said, we are also here to contribute to MedCoast Day that will be tomorrow. Next slide. I'm not going to detail myself the agenda of the event. What I will do is to ask the different contributors, supporters, organizers of the building blocks of the Let's Make Mediterranean Blue to explain in a few words where they come from and what they are offering to us. Next slide. First, I will give the floor to our host from the aquarium based in Malta, Daniel, and say why you're here today with us in this Let's Make the Mediterranean Blue. Where do you come from?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming here to Malta National Aquariums. Many thanks, Mr. Strosser, for choosing Malta National Aquarium as the departure port of this beautiful event. Let's Make the Mediterranean Blue. Also, thank you very much, Mr. Farrugia, Mr. Vella, for being here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So why am I here? Why are we here? We are here mainly to spread a very important message for the conservation, for the protection of our ocean. Some of you as policymakers, some of us as links to those policies between the policymakers and the public, the general public, which is a very important mission as well. It is important to reach every part of the world, every part of the public, old people, young people, older generations, and younger ones. So why am I here? Basically, I'm from Madrid. You can imagine it's a huge city in Europe, 350 kilometers away from the sea. But that didn't stop me from having an avid curiosity about our ocean and its fauna. Many thanks to my dad, in this case, for taking me and my brother snorkeling when we were young and sharing with me his collection of Cousteau's books and also his videos, for sure. I then departed to do my studies in Florida, where I was much closer to the sea and to the ocean as well. It was the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. I courses my studies there and I became a diver. That was what changed my life. Seeing the sea underwater is totally different to anything that you can see in books, videos, and everything. The first breath that you take underwater with a regulator changes your life forever. So I not only studied biology there and zoology, but I also became a dive instructor. Also to share my knowledge with the different generations, with the different public. In this case was diving people. So divers are always a bracket of age from young people around 16 years to all the way to 50, 55 years old. And that was very interesting. It was great to share this knowledge with that bracket of people, but that didn't stop me. I really wanted to share that knowledge and that view and that beauty that we are all able to see here in Malta, very, very close to people around the world, but further away from the sea as well. So in my case, I went back to Madrid and became a curator at the Madrid Aquarium. There I spent 7 years sharing all this stuff with children, mostly, and people from all ages, Spanish people in Madrid. Then I went to Bristol in the UK, and I did the same thing for another 7 years with the UK public. This is great opportunity for myself and for people like me to be able to share our experiences, our knowledge, and our willingness to protect our ocean with different people. We have a strong team here in Malta. After Bristol, I came back with my family. I have 2 children as well, which are very much better snorkelers than what I was when I was little, because they are right here by the sea very, very soon. I strongly believe as biologists and divers that we can assess the health of our seas in the front line. As a dive instructor, you can show the underwater world for the first time to many people. And as an aquarium curator, you can show the underwater world to many more people. In this case, as an aquarium curator, I strongly believe that we have a great tool and to make a difference by influencing people of many ways, in particular through education, as we're in direct contact with the whole general public. Education is a wonderful tool which, in conjunction with places like this, Malta National Aquarium, enable us to help the environment and our ocean by spreading important messages for conservation, for recycling, for many, many different things that will affect the ocean, and showing them in a beautiful, natural, interactive, and friendly way to our public. We managed to have a huge impact in younger generations who visit us during school outings and group activities by tailoring different workshops, talks, and tours to different age groups. We have even adapted our programs so that they didn't stop during the pandemic by offering online talks to local schools and different activities as well through our screens. Thanks to our great aquarium team family, we are constantly designing new programs and activities for groups and individuals of all ages and conditions, which show our increasing number of visits and very positive feedback. Together, and thanks to events such as this one, we are convinced that we will make the Mediterranean blue again. Thank you for being people like yourselves, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Daniel had the advantage of being the first one for making his presentation. Daniel De Castro, who is curator and manager of the aquarium. There will be many activities organized on the spot tomorrow around the aquarium for different publics. So please come and visit the aquarium, join the team there and all the activities they organize. Many thanks.
Thank you very much.
Let's move to the second building block of the event. Next slide. Let's say connected to the activities we are carrying out here in Malta, in Venice. It was reminding us of other initiatives that are taking place in the Mediterranean Sea and to which we try to connect. In particular, in Tunisia, there is today and tomorrow the Forum de la Mer Bizerte 2021. And the reason why we flag it here in the program of the Let's Make the Mediterranean Blue is that we establish connections between the youth activities that we organize under our event and the Parlement de la Mer, the Mediterranean Parliament of the Sea, that is being organized in the context of the Forum de la Mer. And we think that in the long term, more connections should take place between, on one side, elected people and governance levels, and youth organization and youth mobilization. Next slide. Let's then move to the youth. We have here with us Jacopo Baldacchino from the Malta's National Youth Council. Jacopo, we met only a few days ago. We discussed about youth activities, what you felt, your passion, maybe a few words of the importance of the youth and also how you see it in the light of blue initiatives and a blue Mediterranean Sea.
Thank you. Thank you, Pierre, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jacopo, and I'm here representing the National Youth Council of Malta, KNZ. As a council, we advocate for policy and services for youths, both here in Malta and on an international level. We have over 30 member organizations, and we tackle topics ranging from the environment, politics, education, and social rights. So speaking for myself, I am currently reading for a master's in biology and carrying out research in shallow waters. So you can imagine how close the sea is to my heart. So as a pledge, I pledge that both myself and the National Youth Council will continue advocating for ocean literacy, again, both here in Malta and on an international level. And one way that this can be done is through the Youth for Med Forum, which will be organized between the 26th and the 27th of September, this Sunday and Monday, which will be an opportunity for youths to continue discussing with various stakeholders, organizations, institutions, professionals, about their proposals and recommendations on making the Mediterranean blue. These recommendations will then be put forward in a high-level event, which will be occurring on Monday 27th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So effectively, if in the participants, there are still some young professional youth that would like to join on Sunday and Monday, please go and register or just come. We'll be very happy to work with you. Many activities will be organized today by the Malta National Aquarium here, just around the building. But many more activities will be organized in different countries, Med countries around the Mediterranean Sea, in the context of the Ocean Literacy Festival that we have launched on Med Coast Day. And Jelena Basta, environmental educators working for Blue World Institute of Marine Research and Conservation, is organizing not exactly make the Med blue, but something that could look like make Croatia blue. So Jelena, do you want to explain a bit what you plan to do in the coming days?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me to promote the event in which we will celebrate this weekend and this special Ocean Literacy Festival, Mediterranean Ocean Literacy Festival. So Blue World Institute of Marine Conservation and Research is situated on an island in Northern Adriatic Sea, and we have a Marine Education Center where we will host tomorrow our event. Majority of things that we will be, activities that we will be organizing. So the plan is to have 4 different activities for 4 different age groups, interest groups. So we will have guided tours through our education center with the video projection of marine, explaining the research of dolphins and large marine vertebrates that we conduct in this part of the Adriatic. Also, we will have free guided tours through our turtle rescue center, where we do all our activities on recovering and helping turtle population to be healthy. Since this Northern Adriatic is one of the most important overwintering area for Mediterranean population of loggerhead sea turtles. Also, we will host one exhibition in the local museum, archaeological museum. So we will have an exhibition on Mediterranean population of sea turtles. And something that we are especially looking forward to is the workshop on marine litter issues with the high school group.
Many thanks, Jelena. So if you're interested in turtles or litter and you live not too far, please join the activities organized.
If you're in Croatia, all the activities are on site. And if not, we welcome you. We invite you to follow us on our social networks and on our webpage. Thank you.
Many thanks. Yelena mentioned children, different age groups, and many of the speakers before also talked about education. And if you put the next slide of the building blocks of the events, the next one, please. We will have different activities looking at blue into education. And I invite Ramona Mercieca. I'm not sure I pronounce it well. I'm sure I do not. Who is not coming far from the aquarium because she has the chance to be teacher at Gozo and probably will explain much more what she does and also the network to which she belongs.
Hello, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to all the participants. And thank you, Mr. Pierre Strosser, for the invitation to be here with you today. I am a teacher. My name is Ramona Mercieca. I am a geography teacher, but I am also the deputy coordinator for the GLOBE program. GLOBE, which is the Global Learning and Observation to Benefit the Environment. It is an education and science program which gives the opportunity to students of all ages, even citizen scientists, to go outdoors, observe the environment, collect data, and upload it on the database. Scientists at NASA make use of this data and will help us to better understand the environment. Besides that, I am also the link teacher for the Eco Schools program, where I support students at the school where I teach in Gozo to come up with ideas about sustainability. In fact, my background as a geography teacher, a GLOBE deputy coordinator, and also the Eco Schools link teacher all give me the opportunity to take students outdoors for interactive learning experiences, which all this spark their enthusiasm and their engagement. In fact, through my blue and green education, I try to instill in my students the knowledge and skills needed to address environmental issues. And such programs, such international programs like GLOBE and the Eco Schools offer a wide variety of resources and tools which can be used by everyone, even citizen scientists. And not just discuss and solve these environmental issues, but be agents of change, because I strongly believe that students are the change. They bring about change in actions, in attitudes and behavior, which unfortunately are harming our common home, our Earth. In fact, I invite you to join me on Monday, where I will be going in detail on one of the experiences I had recently. I've been involved for the past 15 years with education for sustainability, but recently we focused on the marine environment. Lately, where I had a group of students monitoring a turtle nest, which was at Ramla Bay in Gozo. They collected data to analyze what make a turtle nest successful. And also they carried out an investigation about the effects of plastic. We know plastic, how harmful it is to marine organisms, but we looked at a different aspect. We wanted to check if this plastic is affecting the seawater composition. And in fact, we carried out an investigation where students measured the sea temperature, the seawater temperature, and the pH level. I won't give you the results, so you join us on Monday during the workshop and get ideas and maybe inspired to see how students do not stop there. They go a step further, where they also propose ideas on how one can be eco-friendly, thus getting closer to reach the Sustainable Development Goals. And one last comment I would like to add is that as an educator myself, I try my best to ensure that these opportunities are available for students, so they gain knowledge, they learn how to love and respect the environment, our earth, and the oceans. Because as my motto says, and I end up with this, it's never too little to care and do our share. Thank you so much.
Many thanks, Ramona. So effectively, if you would like to know more about Ramona's experience, but also about the views of many other people working on blue, green, resilient education, do come and attend the workshop, Making the School an Agent of Change to Deliver a Resilient Blue Mediterranean Sea. This is on September 27 morning. In relation to education, we will also propose a much more targeted workshop targeting teachers. If you go to, yeah, it is on the next slides, and it's Evi Kopayans from MC, who is one of our partners in the EU for Ocean Coalition in charge of the EU network of Blue School, that will give us some appetite to attend this training networking event. Evi, your turn.
Thank you for giving me the floor the next 2 minutes. Well, the first minute, let us travel back into your past, where you were still in school. I want you to think about who was that great teacher that you remember the most? And why was this teacher such an influencer to you? Was it because his or her classes were just more interesting than the other ones? Or did they have more fun activities in the classroom? Did they take you out on field trips or visits to learn about the real world? Or did he or she encourage you to use your talents so you felt empowered? Well, these are the type of teachers that you find in the network of European Blue Schools. Those teachers, they teach beyond the kind of old-fashioned curricula on topics like offshore wind farms, adaptations of sea creatures to pressure, or diving, shipwrecks, how to reduce the use of plastics, or monitoring turtles, as we heard just before. They really do fun activities in the classroom, like cooking algae. And they invite ocean experts to the classroom. They take you out to the sea. They encourage you to become an ocean engineer or a marine ecologist. Yeah, they encourage children, youngsters to take action, to contribute to society, find solutions for ocean challenges. So you can meet these teachers at our teacher training session that is on Monday at 3:30 in the afternoon. And at this session, we tackle the subject climate and ocean in the Mediterranean. And we have an important keynote speaker who is a climate scientist who will tell you more about why the Mediterranean is a hotspot for climate change. And then we have, of course, many interesting classroom activities, hands-on activities, interesting projects to share with you. So if you know any teachers, please send them the link because there's still time to register. Thank you.
Many thanks, Evi. So do come, do enjoy, and do bring positive spirits to your children later so they remember you when they become older. In terms of work on education, similar to on other topics, we also have parallel activities organized under the Let's Make the Med Blue, which is a very specific project, those Blues Med, that work also on bringing the blue to the schools. I give the floor to Alan Deidun from Malta. Alan is part of this project. Alan is many other things. And let's say he's Ocean Ambassador for Malta. If you look at Alan's email and you see the signatures, you are impressed by how many organization roles he's playing. So he's a very key person in Malta and beyond. Alan, please, two minutes if it's possible.
Thank you, Pierre. Yes, you're too kind. Whilst listening to the other presentations before me, I was actually searching in my mind for the right word to explain describe what I'm feeling today. And I think the best word would be overwhelmed. And I'm saying this because I've been involved in the field of ocean literacy for the past 10 years at least, where I basically attended my first MC conference, and I see Evie here as well. So, I think I was one of the first persons to actually introduce the term ocean literacy in Malta. When I was first speaking about ocean literacy in Malta, people actually used to stare at me. And here with the aquarium, I'm seeing Daniel here, we organized the first annual National Ocean Literacy Day in June for World Oceans Day. I think it was in 2015. The first one we actually held with the office of the President of Malta. So we actually got the President of Malta to, inaugurate Malta's first Ocean Literacy Day. So the jigsaw pieces are falling finally together all in place. Earlier today, I too had the privilege to participate in the Forum de la Mer in Bizerte, along with the Prince of Monaco. There was the EU Commissioner, the current EU Commissioner for the Environment, as a mission board member. The EU at the moment has 5 missions, one of which is dedicated to the ocean. Commissioner Emeritus Vella rightly said that there was a time when the ocean did not have a seat at the top table. Nowadays, luckily, one of the missions, and these missions will drive forward the Horizon Europe program, which should, by 2030, basically help us achieve most of what we want to achieve when it comes to the Green Deal. So there's cancer, there's urban mobility, there's food production, there's climate change, and then there's the ocean. So there's a mission board dedicated, to the ocean. This is led currently by Pascal Lamy, and next week, the EU Commission should basically launch officially the implementation program for the mission board. So with the mission board, one of our recommendations was obviously to drive ocean literacy forward. As ocean ambassador, I too am involved quite a lot, especially on SIDS, on small island developing states, on the BBNJ conference to protect the biggest space on Earth. Which is the biggest space on Earth? It's the high seas, where there's no national jurisdiction laws which apply. So anybody can go do seabed mining without any protection for biodiversity at all. But I'm also involved at grassroots level through the Blue MS project, which is coordinated by ACTeon and Pierre himself, to try to promote Blue School concept, in Malta. It's a concept which started over in Portugal, and try to obviously include more and more ocean literacy stuff within the curriculum of local schools. Finally, I'm also involved as a researcher then, and I think this is my pet subject, through citizen science. Citizen science is a very powerful tool, to promote ocean literacy. In fact, here I have some of the posters that we actually use with, I would say, kids of all ages, because we started citizen science with kids, but then we realized that everybody wants to be a kid when it comes to citizen science, because everybody is interested. We started off with jellyfish, and you have these seaside boards all over the island, and then we went to alien species, like this. So Spot the Alien campaign, and Spot the Alien Fish campaign, and we roped in people, institutes like the International Ocean Institute, and everybody nowadays wants to learn about the lionfish. Why is the lionfish, such a threat? And for example, this pufferfish that we have over here, which is a highly toxic species, which could kill you if you consume it. So this is one of the ways that we actually managed to inspire the imagination of the public about the sea, and to help obviously have citizens influence policy making when it comes to the ocean. I too obviously wish you the best of luck for this event, and I have to congratulate Pierre once again for being the driving force behind such an ambitious event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. We talked about turtles, jellyfish, Posidonia. This is the end, the sea itself. In the Let's Make the Med Blue, we will also talk about, I would say, serious policy stuff. In particular, and you find it on the next slide, with a workshop, high-level workshop organized on Monday from 2 to 4, where we will look in particular at the mechanism that would help ocean literacy to become mainstream in policies. And when we say mainstream, we do not only think about marine policy, maritime policies, but we also think about many land-based policies and developments that at the end of the day impact directly or indirectly the sea itself. So please join us. You will have the pleasure to hear again Karmenu Vella with different ideas on policy making, challenges and solutions. And we will have a chance to hear a second ex-commissioner, Maria Damanaki, that was the commissioner before Karmenu Vella took office. We are going to the end of the activities that we will organize. There's 2 more contributions that we can expect. The first one is, yes, we talk about education, we talk about marine science, but we realize that it's a bit challenging to reach communities that are beyond the marine community, like architects and photographs, for example. So maybe Adi El Haj from Urban Planner Researchers at Planning and Climate Change Lab at University of Venezia, also working with the European Cultural Center there. Floor is yours to explain a bit what you did on architects.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you so much. So yes, we have, if you'd like to go to the next slide, please. We have organized this photo contest across the Mediterranean Sea Basin that we hope to highlight the ports and their effects on their daily life and how they shape the cities and maintain a healthy Mediterranean Sea. The photo competition is still ongoing. We have not, we have delayed a bit the submissions, and we hope to have a physical exhibition in Venice. So in the next slide, we're gonna say, why is it Venice? Next slide, please. So Venice is not just because it has been chosen the seat to have this photo exhibition. It's not just because its emblematic lieu or location presented with the threats of climate change and high rise of water, but also Venice as the seat where art and architecture biennale takes place. And as you know, this is the Olympic for architects, for artists and photographers, where there's a great exposure and possibility to engage with the broad public and engage in these projects. So we hope to host the exhibition of these photos in Venice very soon. We will define the dates together, particularly with Pierre and Vera, who are co-organizers of this event. And in the next slide, this project is also supported by MSP Med, which is I'm also involved as a researcher in maritime spatial planning for the Mediterranean, which is an initiative that is co-funded by the European Fisheries and Maritime and Fisheries Fund. And this is in order to mobilize resources in order to really have an impact on our Mediterranean and reach a high level of people to engage in the photo competition we have here. So in the next slide, this is my pledge to the next slide. Then, yeah, this is my pledge in order to use all the resources and all the network that I have in terms of as an educator, as a researcher at the University of Venice and with the European Cultural Center, working for La Biennale di Venezia in order to create better land-sea interaction and create a positive impact on our oceans and our sea and our common Mediterranean Sea. So yes, we welcome you all to continue in submitting your photos in the photo competition, and we hope to exhibit it in Venice very soon. So thank you very much, and see you in Venice on Monday for the closing ceremony.
Many thanks, Adi. The last intervention is from Valentina Lovat. If you look at the next slide, it's an activity that is taking place outside of the EU Let's Make Made Blue, but that is strongly connected. What Valentina will present as is now part of the Ocean Literacy Festival that we organize, but it is lasting more days. I don't tell you what it is about. Valentina will explain why she's here today.
Yes. Hi, everyone. It is a pleasure to be there, and thank you everyone for this opportunity, and thank you, Mr. Pierre, for inviting us. I'm here, I'm Valentina, I'm a IC UNESCO Ocean Literacy Consultant, and I'm here on behalf of Francesca Santoro. And as IUC UNESCO, we are working every day to achieve a behavioral change and inspire new and future generations to undertake a career in marine-related field, or also be aware of the importance that the ocean have in our life and the impact that all of our decisions have for the ocean. So engaging with different actors and listening the depths and the issues of the private sector is fundamental to overcome some of the barriers that we are facing today in protecting our big blue ocean. And as IUC UNESCO in these days and in the meantime of these conferences, we are opening the second edition of the ACTeon. The ACTeon is a digital hackathon entirely dedicated to the innovation in marine domain. The theme of this of the hackathon of the 2021 is related to the relationship existing between the ocean and climate, as this ACTeon is part of the Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development and the pre-COP26 event that is going to be the next week in Milan. So we are working and we are looking for young professionals coming from different sectors, so from marine biology, but also marine sciences, economy, business sectors, finance, marketing, communication, engineers. We are trying to make all these young professionals together to find new ideas and innovative solutions to face the climate crisis and the related challenges in the Mediterranean region. So in these 2 days, so 48 hours, young professionals are working from all over the world, all together, to find new ideas and be part of the solution for the conservation of the Mediterranean Sea. And this is one of the biggest achievements that we have, and we are happy to share with you this initiative. And this is a good opportunity for networking to be able to achieve the ocean we want for the future. And so this is our event that is running in these days contemporary in the same time as Let's Make the Mediterranean Blue event. Yes.
Many
so
thanks,
if you want.
Yeah, many thanks, Valentina. So again, an initiative taking place, trying to move from ideas to actions in line with what was stressed by many of the speakers at the beginning of the launching event. We are getting close to the end. If you go to one slide further, so we don't forget it. Hadi mentioned it, now the one before, but it's okay, you can stay on this one. There will be a final closing event in hybrid in Venice, hosted by the European Cultural Center, and where we'll have also the pleasure to have Maria Damanaki former commissioner with us to get a final point on these 3-4 days of activities. So please come there to listen to what will be coming out of the different building blocks of the event. And then we see whether there is some lights for the next steps and forward-looking roadmap. We are getting close to the end. Sorry, we are late. I suggest we move to the final session. If we can go to the next slide. Closing the launching with a few interventions. What you can remember, and on the slide you have here, you cannot see very much, but you see many blocks. What is important in the days that we have is the collective dimension of the Let's Make the Med Blue. Many organizations involved, many target groups. If you want to see a nicer picture of it, go to next slide. Just go to the visual of the event, or go to the puzzle that we built with all the activities that were presented, that were organized. So effectively, it's a puzzle that we try to build together, whether virtually or whether also physically in the Malta Aquarium. To finish the event, I would ask the person that started the launching event in a reverse order, Tatiana, Emma, Arun Farrugia, and Karmenu Vella, to share a few emotions, idea, reactions from what they heard today. And we started with, this is our guiding messages, directions, collective, children, etc. How do you then feel once you have seen what we plan to do in this event in the coming 3 days? Tatiana, would you like to share a few words? If you see on the screen, they are building the puzzle of the Let's Make the Mediterranean Blue. I see that some good contributors already there. But Tatiana, would you like to say a few words on what you heard this afternoon? What does it ring on your side as bells or emotion, ideas and reactions? Maybe we could go to Arun Farrugia then. Minister, a few words to share, to contribute to the closing. How do you feel about what was presented? Is it going in the right directions?
Farrugia had to leave for the moment, but we can welcome up Alan Deidun, who can place his piece of the puzzle and maybe say a couple of words as well.
So Alan, a few words, and then I would suggest we end with the words of Karmenu Vella.
Yes. So thank you, Pierre. Yes, I would say as final words from my end, once again, I cannot believe that all of this is coming together. It's like a dream come true, because obviously this is what we were aspiring for up till 5-10 years ago, when ocean literacy was still in the pipeline and very much a new concept. So this is, I think we won't have a better opportunity than this one, and we really need to grab the moment and the momentum that there is in favor of the ocean to obviously have a more ocean literate society. Thank you.
Many thanks, Alan. Karmenu Vella, a few ideas to share?
Well, I think to conclude, we've had some very interesting, a very interesting discussion. Each and every puzzle, I think, is always made of a number of different pieces, different sizes, different shapes, different colors. But the nice thing is that when they fit together, when we bring all the pieces together, then you can see the real whole picture. And with regards to the ocean, I think we should be doing the same thing. We have a number of pledges, we have a number of ideas, we have a number of different actors, whether they are young or elderly, whether they are policymakers or just educators. I think as long as they fit together, each and every effort, whether big or small, will contribute towards the ocean literacy, towards the protection of, as I said before, our unique and most precious asset that we have. Thank you, and hope that everyone enjoys a little bit of Malta as well. Thank you.
Many thanks, Mr. Vella. Continue to build the puzzle in Malta, and then a few more slides before we finish, before we close. If you could go back to the slides, please. I think the next one, or is it this one? Yeah, this one. Thank you. If you are interested by the activities that were presented, go to the website of the European Maritime Forum. You can still register to the activities. Evie, for example, say, please, teachers, come to us. Valentina said, there is still space in the Ocean Tom, and then we would like to get more people coming to the Use for Med Forum. We expect that we get more contribution on the Let's Make Med Ports Blue. So please join us. As Karmenu Vella said, let's fit together. More can come and strengthen the puzzle that we started to develop. And do not forget that tomorrow there will be quite some on-site activities organized as part of the Ocean Literacy Mediterranean Festival. You heard some from Croatia. There will be many organized in Malta. Please, if you are in these countries, do join and do enjoy. Next slide. What we should not forget is also the key message of the Make EU Blue. Every action, even the smallest one, brings change to our ocean. You heard today Christos, Karmenu, Hadi, that share their pledges. Many thanks to them. So please, yourself, all of you, all participants, think on what you can do to contribute and to join the Make EU Blue campaign. And you will also find on the website of the Maritime Forum all the information required to make your pledges. And the last slide is do communicate, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also contribute, feed with ideas these initiatives. That will be very much welcome and contributing to the collective efforts we aim at in the EU for Ocean Coalition. Next slide. Many thanks. I give the floor to Malta, to Victoria. We start where we started at the beginning.
Thank you, Pierre. So, as Pierre has said, a huge thanks for everyone that's been involved in today, all of your pledges, and also sharing the events and your future efforts. Of course, the aquarium is part of this as well, and we will be doing our own events tomorrow and on Sunday, and we do have some lovely youth groups, all our visitors as well will be able to be involved. So that's starting from tomorrow. We have snorkeling events, we have the cleanups, and we have our NGOs, of course, who are joining us. So big thanks to you all for today. Thank you to Pierre as well for everything, and also giving the aquarium the opportunity to host. So thank you very much, and thank you.
The event is over. Enjoy.